Hello, my dear friends. I hope that you're having a great time. I want to say that I'm doing well. And of course, I'm happy when I'm coming here and ready for another life experience lesson. So, I always want to say that I thank you all for being here, for learning with money, and also for subscribing to the channel when you find this valuable. You don't need to miss any of the next videos. Thank you so much. All right. So, what do I have today? I just want to say that this is something I was fascinated about when I learned, when I made a reflection on my life and also on my growth. How did I grow from being a street child to being a proud father to being a husband to being an executive director of Share Love Rwanda, my organization that is doing amazing things to support the children to pursue their education and help their families create the best environment for their children to live and succeed. So, how do I grow from being that kind of child to being where I am today? And what did I learn? What really helped me a lot on my journey? And I want to say one thing. I just made up this sentence, but I found that it is something that was written for back in days, and I was reading about leadership, and I was reading a book of John Maxwell. So if you were fascinated with leadership, if you are really, interested in learning more about leadership, you probably know this book of Maxwell, like leadership. So John Maxwell is one of the greatest guru when it comes to leadership, and he's a masterpiece in this area. So what he wrote, a sentence that really resonates a lot with me, is that growing is automatic, but getting better is intentional. So what does he mean with this statement? So he wants to mean that whether you do anything today or you don't, you are going to grow anyways. You are going to be 35 years old if you are 34 years old this year. Next year, automatic, you are going to be 35 years old. If you are 20 years old, very young, in this area, I mean in leadership, that's a good time to discover all a lot about it. But if you are 20 years old, automatically next year you're going to be 21 years old. But it doesn't mean that you're going to know anything better than what you know today if you don't learn about it. And that's what people do. People underestimate what they can do for a long time and achieve, and they overestimate what they can achieve in a short time. And people are discouraged by that. But if we apply just one rule, get better 1% every day. If you're reading, read every day to get better, just 1%. Learn one small thing on what you want to do in your area of in your career, just one small thing over time, and you're going to be a master in the area for a long time. And you will never even know that it took you time. So the power of consistency is one of the best things that will save your life, that will take your leadership, that will take your communication skills, that will take your writing skills to another level in your life. But there are going to be consistency in learning in your journey. I want to tell you a story when I was in my high school. You guys know I went in high school when I was really late. I was very old, 20 years old, and I had to start my high school. But I was not better. I was doing worse than many of the students. But I had grasped one thing. I knew over time, if I keep trying, I will get there. I would get anything as long as I would keep trying, making sure that I don't miss any of my classes. I remember attending 3 years without skipping any class, whether it rained or it didn't. I never, for 3 years. Then I knew that I was going to just take like a dictionary that was like my Bible. I used to read the dictionary. And that would sound silly because like people need to enjoy the stories and like learn about something. For me, I was reading for me to get to know the words because I didn't know words. I would be challenged so much when I could even take like a baby book and read it because I would find like I don't understand 90% of the words. So then it took me time to even start reading like dictionary. And I couldn't even have like I'm going to read about these words. I would just open the page, any page randomly. But I would do that on daily basis. So I was the top last, like the top last students when we did that, like when we took our first report. But this is what happened. For the last term in the first year, I was among the best. For 3 years, I was the top of my class. When we had to sit for national examination, I became the top of my class. That was really amazing. But that showed me a lot and it gave me the understanding like it's not about what you know. It's about how you can do the best with what you know. Doing the best with what you know doesn't mean like you have a lot of resources. You don't have to do that. You don't have to have that. By doing a lot with, like doing better with what you have, it's knowing like there are things you don't have. So you're going to take advantage and make everything useful in what you have. And that's the same thing I applied. I knew the only way out to even staying in school was to be a better student. At first, when I started, when I didn't have a lot of skills, what I did was like, okay, I applied my one skill I have. I had discipline. So the power of discipline gave me the opportunity to learn from anyone. The power of discipline gave me the opportunity to connect with every teacher. So if I would miss something, if I would not get something right, everyone would see that I'm very courageous and would be willing to learn and would be willing to help me. That was very, very important. And that gave me the opportunity to know which books to read, to know which section of the library to go to, and to know which type of books I should start with, and where to find the books, of course, and who to ask if there is any challenge. And opened the doors. And I started knowing exactly what I need. And I started seeing there was a lot of opportunities than what I had expected. And I found that over time I was going to get better and better. And that's something I wanted to just share with you guys. So if this video makes sense to you and you have found value in it, please share with your friends, share with your relatives, share with your parents, and share with your kids, of course. As long as you can get better, just 1%, you're going to be among the best. No matter what happens over time, you're going to excel. Thank you so much, and I wish you many blessings. Have a great time, have a great night, wherever you are. Thank you so much again.